Hi everybody, this is the second video that I'm showing you this week. It's Mental Health Awareness Week, so I've chosen to share with you some of my experiences around mental health, anxiety, depression, and a little bit about my addiction and recovery. So I'm not going to go into too much detail around the addiction, but what I will share with you is that while I've been working in the music industry and DJing and traveling and touring, I partied a lot. Like a lot of us in the beginning, it was just fun. And then after a while, it became fun with consequences. And where I ended up was only consequences. It eventually took me into a very dark place where I was very lonely, isolating, not social at all, very introverted and very sad. It was a sad time in my life and a very harmful time as well. First and foremost, I was harming myself, but I also affected a lot of other people that were close to me, my family, friends, relationships, and it really was a very painful experience. So 5 years ago, I went and took 6 weeks out. I took 6 weeks away from my environment and went to a rehab centre in Thailand. Very, very good place. And while I was there, I learned some new skills, and some of them were social skills, some of them were self-help skills. I learned a lot about meditation while I was there. I meditated every day. And then there was the counselling. So I believe that the reason that I've taken the path that I've taken, and now I'm training as a psychotherapist, and I'm just starting Matthew Benjamin therapy and Listen Up therapy shortly, was a result of taking this time out of my previous lifestyle, getting clean and sober obviously, but with the work with the counsellors. So I was doing one-to-one counselling and group counselling, and I learned so much in that space of time. So in that 6 weeks, I was out of music, out of parties, out of my usual social circles. And for me, I think that having that space away from the things that I was familiar with, the people and the places and the lifestyle that I was familiar with, really gave me a chance to experience what my life might be like, clean and sober, without these influences. So when I arrived, I was incredibly scared, and I was very depressed and very lonely. But with the work that I did with the counsellors, some of that was something called CBT, which you've probably heard of, may or may not have heard of, cognitive behavioural therapy, which is a type of therapy which looks at what your core beliefs are about yourself and gives you some tools to challenge those core beliefs. For example, if your core belief is, I'm not good enough, or the world is out to get me, then how do you challenge that? So I started to learn about CBT, amongst other things, and it resonated with me. There was something about the process of counselling, one-to-one particularly, I found very helpful, and discovering that there are ways to look at my behaviours, to look at why I think, feel and behave the way I do, and to change them. And ever since I left that place in Thailand, ever since I left the rehab and came back, well, I've never drunk or done anything else since then, but it's kept me really interested and connected with why we do the things we do, what we can do to change those things, to have a more positive benefit, a positive impact on our lives. And I'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow and about what I intend to do with the skills that I've learned now and how I intend to try to share them with people in my industry, in the music industry, but much further afield, from all walks of life. But I really want to be able to use some of my experience from that industry and from that long period of time in my life where I experienced a lot of loneliness, a lot of isolation, a lot of depression, and how I've managed to work through that, and how I've now got tools to help me through all of those feelings. So thanks for listening, and I'll make another video tomorrow and talk a little bit more about some of those tools and how they work for me. If you've got any questions, you can send me an email through my website at www.matthewbenjamintherapy.com, or you can send me a private message and I'll contact you. Thanks.